Hey, Breaking Brown family, it's Yvette Carnell once again, coming to you as I do every Monday and Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I want to just do a little housekeeping while people kind of show up and stream in. I want to do a little housekeeping. I want to give you time to kind of get yourself together. I want to give you time to kind of get yourself situated. I'm not seeing it yet on Facebook. I want to give you time to kind of just, get your popcorn or do whatever you got to do. Take your time. Army, are you seeing it on Facebook?
Oh, hold on, I'm getting there. Double check.
Is everybody seeing it on YouTube?
Sure, YouTube people are fine.
Let me know.
It was on your. It was on the other YouTube.
Which other YouTube?
The other Facebook. I mean.
Okay. Start it over there.
Livecast changed here.
Brown family, it's Yvette Carnell joining you once again as I do every Monday and Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to take a little time right now to do a little housekeeping. So if you are new here, you already know the drill. I want you to share it to your pages. I want you to like it because that affects how many people see us. I want you to do all of that stuff and take your time because we got some stuff we want to talk about tonight. So I just want you to take your time and get involved. Now listen, I have one thing in terms of housekeeping. I have something else I want to say. If you did not get the newsletter and you subscribe to the newsletter, please email me at editor@breakingbrown.com and in the title, in the headline, put, did not get newsletter. So that I can fix that. It looks like there may have been like 6 people who were on the newsletter mailing list who didn't get the letter. Remember, I'm putting together a newsletter every week. It's a $2 a month charge. You can go to breakingbrown.com and subscribe to the newsletter. It's $2 a month, or you can go onto the homepage and make a donation. You can make a one-time donation, or you can donate $3 a month, $5, $7, $25, $50, however much you want to donate a month, or you can make a one-time donation. You can go to subscribe to Brown. That doesn't subscribe you to the newsletter, but that does subscribe you to my mailing list. So if there's something that I see that I think that, everybody who is subscribed to me should have access to this, everybody should know this, I'll send that out as well. And I'm trying to build that list as well. So I want everybody, again, if you did not get the newsletter, I want you to let me know. I want you to email me at editor@breakingbrown.com. I can't stress that enough. Let me know if you didn't get it. If you subscribe, you paid your $2. Let me know if you didn't get it. Okay. In the newsletter, we had news. We had previous links to data from other episodes. We had videos to make you smarter that I think have kind of made me smarter. We had all kind of stuff on the last with the last Breaking Brown with the Breaking Brown newsletter went out on Sunday. Okay?
Ask the people what they want if they liked it. If they liked it.
So if you liked it, let me know. Give me some feedback. If you have ideas, give me some feedback. You know the email address, editor@breakingbrown.com. All of that good stuff. Okay. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, what I need you to do, there's a little thing that looks like a bell. It's like a little bell up top. It's near the subscribe button. Hit that button. Hit that little bell. And it'll let you know, it'll send you a notification after I put up another video. So you'll know, hey, Yvette put up a video. And you won't have to be like, I don't know. I didn't know she said anything about that. I didn't know she talked about that. I was just so confused. So do that for me. Do that for me so we can get that going. And I'd appreciate that. Now, what we're going to talk about today is something that, is something that a lot of people have already talked about. Everybody want to talk about Get Out. The movie Get Out. And we had some conversations about actors the other week, about actors playing African Americans, whether they be black Brits who really are kind of just like first, second generation immigrants. They're not really Brits, in that sense of the term. In the sense of the term of like white Brits who've been there centuries and centuries. But we had a whole conversation about what Samuel L. Jackson said last week and his views on that. And we talked about what he said about, having a brother, meaning an African American, play that role. So what I did in terms of not even that conversation, that's a whole different conversation. what I did was, watch the movie.
Look at you, like a responsible person.
Yes, I watched the movie because I said I want to tell the people what I think about the movie. And I'm gonna just tell you something. You may not know this about me, but horror is kind of my genre a little bit. Now, I'm not saying I gotta go see horror movies. I'm not saying I get into it like that, but I don't know why. I enjoy a good horror movie because I kind of enjoy trying to figure out what I would do if I was in that situation. Like stab him in the head, beat it back. That's like, what would you do? So that's what horror movies are for me.
So ask the people, Yvette, if they let you write a horror movie, would you take that meeting?
Yeah, I would. I think I could. I mean, in terms of psychological thrillers, like I was talking about The Purge, and I said with The Purge, what I could do, I would have all kind of scenarios where somebody you didn't even know disliked you came and just got you. Something. I mean, you never know. So the kind of thing where you never know who likes you and who dislikes you. There will be all these different scenarios intertwined in one movie. So that was just my little idea. It's something I do on my spare time. If I wasn't descendant of a slave and I had a whole bunch of money, I think I'd make a good horror writer. But
I think you have more than one idea.
I have a lot of ideas about how to survive and how to die too. So I mean, there are things that kind of make me odd, but I don't get into that. Everybody got that eccentricity, so leave me alone. The point of the matter is, I watched Get Out, and I kind of, even though we have had disagreements about the actors and who should do what and who should play what, I kind of expected to like it because it's in my wheelhouse in terms of wanting to jump and not necessarily wanting to know what's going to be around that blind corner when you make the turn. That's kind of in my wheelhouse of a lot of stuff I like. So I kind of, even though I've had disagreements, I kind of like the film. I mean, I kind of wanted to like the film just because, or I thought I would, because it's hard for you to kind of make me be like, I don't like a horror movie. Unless it's just bad. I don't usually go there. So I have to tell everybody before I go into this, if you haven't seen Get Out and you plan to see Get Out, you may want to just, mute for a little while and I'll come back and then come back. Because in the second half, we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about the show Blackish and just a smidgen about the actresses on the show and something that they have in common. So I'm going to try to come back to that at about the 15-20 minute mark. So if you haven't seen it, I just want to let you know there are going to be some spoilers. If you don't want spoilers, now's your time to put your earplugs in. Don't say on me, Yvette ruined the movie for me. I didn't know that. No, spoiler alert. The first thing, and this is, let me just give you my overall synopsis of the movie. It was okay. It was okay. Now, when I say it was okay, people say, well, Yvette, you probably don't like any movies. I actually like Django. I actually like Django Unchained. I did. I thought Jamie Foxx was great in that movie. I thought Leonardo DiCaprio was good. And I made a natural comparison to Django with this movie. It was just a natural comparison for me because of how it ended. Again, spoiler alert. That was a natural comparison because at the end, they all end up killing the white people. So it was a natural kind of comparison for me. But I like one movie, didn't too much care for the other movie, so I'm trying to figure out why. So I'm trying to go back in my head to figure out why didn't I necessarily care for this movie. So I think one of the things that bothered me at the very beginning, there was this comment like, there's this, in case you were living under a rock, there's a black guy and a white woman and they're dating. Young people in their early 20s, they're dating, and they go to the mama house, to the parents' house. Very nice house. These are very wealthy white people. That's the first thing you take away from the movie is wealth and how wealth influences everything. Wealth influences everything throughout the movie, and that's the one thing we're not talking about. But okay. They go, the black guy asked, and poor Iron Man seen the movie. I forgot, this is gonna screw you up.
No, I've seen enough.
But the black guy says something to the effect of, have you told your family that you're bringing a black guy home? This is the who's coming for dinner part of the evening. And she basically says, well, my dad would vote for Obama a third time if he could. And so that's the lens through which we see blackness, is through Obama. Like, if you like Obama as a politician, then you good with black people.
That's the lens to a lot of white people. See, that's the lens to a lot.
I can't be racist if I like Obama.
Or Bill Cosby. If you like Cosby in the 80s and you like Obama, then you can't be a racist. That's your liberal.
It's not possible.
That's liberal white America.
That's kind of problematic, though, isn't
Yes,
it?
because those people hate Negroes.
Yeah, it's like, well, I mean, you like Obama because he's like what did Senator Harry Reid say? He's so clean.
Yes.
He's so clean. He's so clean spoken.
Nice. But he smells good. He uses nice oils.
Yes, he said, ooh, he has a nice aroma about him. It smells like musk and sandalwood. but let me just. So that was kind of bothersome that, everything's going to be okay because they like Obama, because Obama wasn't even good to African Americans. I'm not even going to go down that road because you all who know me know how I feel about it.
Liberals don't worry about that.
Yeah, and it's not even about how I feel. I've shared with you policy after policy after policy to demonstrate, how how Obama was towards black people. So the fact that how you whether or not you like black people is supposed to be understood through the lens of the first black president who wasn't even good to black people is problematic to me. And that's in the first 5 minutes of the movie. So they automatically turned me off. First 5 minutes, I'm already off. Okay? And when I look at it, there's another scene. There's just so many scenes in this movie. There's another scene where they get stopped by the cops on their way up to the wealthy white people house. That's what I'll call it. Not the parents' house, the wealthy white people house. And you see him kind of shrink, and you see the white woman kind of rise. And it's almost kind of emasculating in terms of, because the cop is asking, I want to see his ID. And the white woman is like, the white girlfriend is like, well, he wasn't driving. You don't need to see his ID. And so you see the black man who knows I can't have this conversation, so my wife is having this conversation for me. So it's almost like, in terms of traditional gender roles, it's flip-flopped on him. And so he is kind of like a little bit emasculated, and then she's kind of rose up. But in the car, he's like, oh, that was sexy. And I'm like, you had no balls. But whatever, because he can't. But we don't really go into like what that means in terms of that relationship, in terms of, how power dynamics express themselves in terms of race. We don't really get into that. We don't really delve into that in any kind of meaningful way. We just kind of move on from it. But it's a horror movie, so no worries. But I just kind of picked up on that. And the thing, when I look at what stands out for me, right? When I look at like what stands out for me, there are two things. One thing is the Django comparison. That's the first thing that stands out for me in terms of what movie making has become, in terms of what movie making is trying to translate to black people and trying to have black people understand. And the second thing that stands out to me is how white critics judge this movie versus how I judge this movie. And I'm a person who went into this movie, regardless of who's acting in this movie, I went into this movie thinking I'm probably going to like it because it's in my wheelhouse.
You like horror? You like black people? You don't mind if white people get shot? What's the problem?
I thought I was going to like it, but one of my rules for judging a movie is whether or not I can predict what's about to happen. If I can't predict it, if you surprise me, oh, you good. So that didn't happen. And I like to be scared in horror movies, and I wasn't made afraid. Like, even when I see a horror movie where I kind of know what's going to happen, I don't never know how it's going to happen, right? So, like, there's still, like, a lot of potential there to scare the crap out of me. But that just didn't happen in this movie. Now, when people say, well, what is your comparison to Django? Well, here's my thing. When I watched Django, and I liked it, I want to put that, now I don't want to take anything away. I enjoyed the movie. I think the people who I saw the movie with, we all enjoyed the movie. But one of the things I took away was like, I was like, wow, like Jamie Foxx in this movie is killing white people. Like, I didn't think that was possible in movie making. And so in this movie too, they're killing white people again. I didn't think it was possible. But I'm wondering. And so the part of me, that's thinking about this and that's really trying to intellectualize this is wondering, and just wondering out loud, is this some kind of way to have black people experience vengeance that is not like anything revolutionary, that is not like political change, that is not like, anybody really causing harm? We get to express, we get to see our, we get to fight back on the screen. So it's almost like, you ever watched men, men who like, or women too, I'm not trying to gender this, but who like football a lot or baseball, and they go to a game and like they come back like they won something. Like, yeah, we really did it to them. We really got them. And you're like, you ain't got nothing. But okay, I understand. That's what it means to be a fan. And so it's a cathartic experience for them. Like, they really feel like they did something. They get a release. I honestly feel like sometimes that the powers that be know that black people want to get a release. And we want to get some vengeance for what's happened and for what hasn't been made right and hasn't been made whole. So they kind of decide to give that to us on the screen, or at least allow that to be given to us on the screen. Whereas back in that, they would have been like, no, you can't do it. We're not going to do that. We're not going to, Yeah. You can try, but we're not going to green light it. You got to change the ending. And so I kind of wonder about that. It just makes me wonder if they have us in this kind of virtual world, right? Where you can experience it. You can experience it, but it won't be real. You can get made whole. It just won't be real. You can get your revenge that you feel like you want every time a white person or a white person in power does something unfair to you. It just won't be real. So it kind of just makes me wonder, like, why is that being greenlighted? And somebody told me that the initial ending, just people didn't like it. Black people didn't like it specifically.
The initial ending of which movie?
The movie we're talking about, Get Out.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll talk about Django now. I mean, I have a few things to say about Django.
Go ahead.
All right. So Django, what got me was I thought it was just getting good at the end, right? I wanted to see a black organizer. All right. So now we've killed off all the white people. We're still in the middle of the South. We got, a few hundred Negroes on the plantation now. What do we do now? That I wanted to see that movie because like they'd all watch Django, like just mow all these crackers down, and they like, wow, we can actually do this. And then Django rode off with Kerry Washington, and now they're just guys just sitting there on the plantation. I'm like, a good movie would be like, what? How do they organize now and like shore up defenses? Because like when the Klan comes back, so I wanted to see like that kind of organizing movie. But I like organizing. I want to see black people organizing.
And somebody just come in it like, the villain of the movie, that's why he said, I voted for Obama. And so liberals are villains, in the same way that's that important. Like rednecks are villains. And I get it. And I certainly get it. But the problem with me was there's another part of the movie where the black guy was like, he was the greatest president ever, and the black guy's like, yeah. It's just kind of that. It's just kind of, you know what it is? It's just kind of in your face. It's just kind of like, I see what you're trying to do. Like, it's too much. Like, it's not like, you know how there's some movies where you go home and you're like, oh, I didn't see what they were trying to do. I get it. Like, I know what they were trying to do. Like, it kind of, stuff just, a movie that I really like, it just stays with me. That's just what it is. It just stays with me for a long while. Like, I can't shake it. Like a real good movie, I just can't shake it. I can't help myself.
Yes, and I
can't help myself. I just can't shake it.
All right, so I'm going to give like a huge spoiler now. So I really want, seriously, if you want to see the movie and you don't want to get spoiled, go mute until like we tell you not to go mute or whatever, until I wave my hand or something like that. Because like I'm going to give an enormous spoiler. Just walk away. All right, here it comes. Press mute. Here it comes. All right. So the most important part of the movie, actually, of Get Out, I've read enough reviews to know, is that Rose, the girlfriend, was in on it the whole time.
Yeah, you're right.
That's what makes this different. In Django, you got, whoa, I didn't know that you could just mow down white people like that. In this movie, it's important that the pretty little white girl...
Yeah, that's true.
She wasn't suborned. She wasn't tricked.
That's true.
No, she was in it the whole time. And that's what's important. That's the contribution.
Yeah, I agree. That's important.
That's important. That's a contribution. That's something I didn't know you could do. I didn't know you could have a little white girl who's like completely guilty in like this racialized...
She was a monster.
She was a monster. And she is a monster, and like that's also appropriate insofar as the parents are satire and the whole thing was satire. She's appropriately satire. Like those women exist, and like that's the appropriate fear to have because the people you think are allies aren't really allies, and like it was just she was in on the whole game from the beginning, and that's the contribution of Get Out. That's important.
I think that's very important. I'm not. And let me just say something. I think Get Out. I think the writers of Get Out really did try to make a contribution. I really do. Like I do think Peele really tried. I can't remember his first name, but I think he really did try to make a contribution. I think he put in effort. I'm just saying I judge the movie by whether or not I was entertained. Right. But I'm not going to discount the way in which he wrote the villains. I'm not going to discount the fact that we never see like these little nice white girls. Hi, how are you? As villains in movies.
Yeah. So
like they're normally monsters. Like what's the woman who crushed the man's legs? You know what I mean? And
like Misery.
Misery, yes. Normally like a white woman like that.
But she's like
she's older. Big and she's angry looking and she's old and she just run. Like you never get like a white woman that's like normal and nice and just like the same as everything.
Yeah. So about that, Tommy Curry, Dr. Tommy Curry is an excellent guy. Track his stuff down. Dr. Tommy Curry is doing an entire lit review because historically, white women have been in the game the whole time. Like you can't tell a story about racism in America, especially anti-black racism, without talking about how it's reproduced by mothers and sisters and nieces and like the little white women who are yelling at the Little Rock Nine. Like they're in it for the entire time. Except as a matter of American pathology, we are incapable of seeing them as perpetrators of racialized violence. We're even incapable of portraying them as perpetrators of racialized violence. At best, they can be like suborned, like I didn't know my parents are racist.
And that's normally how it comes.
Right,
that's normally how it is.
But no, she was like she did it and she was in it and she perpetrated it. And talk about Emmett Till now.
But see, the thing is, and
bring it back to Emmett Till because that's what this is about.
Yeah, when you talk about Emmett Till, the woman was like, I lied about him whistling at me.
That's a big deal. That's a huge deal. That came out 2 months ago. That's a huge deal. Emmett Till was killed and the whole thing, and she lied about the whole thing. And you know she's not the only one. The historical record says that she's not the only one. And these guys get lied on. That's important.
But sometimes when you know what it is. You know what? Sometimes when movies set out to do important things.
Yes.
Like, they're trying to do important things.
Right.
Like, it's almost like reading a good book. Like, I want to kind of discover that for myself and be left. But I don't discount. Like, I think you have to give him some credit for trying to paint these people as the villains and this dark skinned black man as the victim. How often do you see a dark skinned black man as the victim
King Kong?
of I don't know. You don't see how often do you see a dark skin? Like it's not just any black man. Like colorism matters in America, right? So how often do you see a dark skinned black man as the victim of a white woman? And he's there's a part where he's like, get the keys, and she's like, I can't give you these keys. And you're like, oh shit, everything done changed. This nice white woman ain't nice no more. Everything done changed. She ain't giving you them keys. And at that point, she goes into a space that's so cold.
Yeah, but she's always been there.
She's always been that way, though. Yeah. She's always been that woman. Yeah. And she was able to fake and front. I think, what I think about that woman, the head of Yahoo, just got a parachute.
Yeah.
Marissa something.
No, exactly.
What's her name?
No,
she's a monster.
She's a monster.
So I think the contribution of this movie is that we can see not only just white people. I mean, even the white man. He was a white liberal, and we don't normally see liberals as victims because as perpetrators because of how they act. And I voted for Obama. I still don't like the idea of but that's what liberals do. I voted for Obama, so I understand that I understand that the role that it played in the movie. But it was just too much in my face for me. But I think you have to give the writers credit for twisting this thing. It didn't feel very horror to me because I kind of felt like it, nothing jumped. With horror movies where you just even if it's a psychological thriller, you're like, ah! I didn't feel that. So it didn't deliver on that level for me. But in terms of having movies that paint white women a certain way, so you don't just keep seeing them as always the victim. I mean, anybody who's worked under a white woman knows that's not the truth.
No, that's just not the truth. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth. Shame the devil. Shame the devil.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth and shame the devil.
You must tell the truth. Isn't that what Will Smith said? Tell the truth. No, there's a.
Somebody said that Peel's cry for help. I think he's being honest. I think I don't know. Like I think he, a lot of people have a lot more access to white people than other people,
Dude,
right?
my wife is white. Yeah,
like
I know. And
they say they coming for you. I'm reading the thing right now. They say they coming for Iron Man. They say they coming for Iron Man.
Dude, I know. I've been around.
They like they coming for Iron Man. That's what they said.
She's not the first one I dated. I bet. I've seen all. No, I know what the devil looks like.
You know everybody. With
I know everybody. Yeah. First of all, you know who else is bad? You remember that CEO from Theranos? She was the bio.
Oh yeah. She was
Pretty
a
little girl.
She
Monster. This girl.
Monster.
This is the face of a monster. I'm about to put you up. The face of a monster.
Tell him what she did.
That's the face of a monster. She's a billionaire monster who looted people off of drugs. Oh. Like she's a healthcare scammer. Pretty little white girl. Monster. Huge monster. Gonna get away with it. She's the devil. But we don't have a space to talk about
and I think that is the benefit of the movie.
That's a huge deal.
That even though I don't think I was necessarily entertained by, I think the benefit of the movie is that it helps to create a space where not all the monsters are like men are
guys.
we're not like guys who dip snuff and chew tobacco. Yeah. And it's like you arrived here in Georgia. It's like a Mississippi burning. Like all of the I'm happy.
It's important.
Yes,
look, we're not going.
I just wish they could have made it more entertaining for me.
Look, we're not going anywhere on issues like education segregation or housing segregation and probably even mass incarceration until we can name white women as co-perpetrators with their husbands. And and I think it's great that it's known. I think it's great that it's known that 53% of them voted for Trump.
Yep.
You can't just blame their husbands.
That's true.
That time is over in America. That's over in America. It's the women. So until we come at that's why we still have segregated neighborhoods. They say that kitchens and bathrooms sell houses. You think it's the men who pick? Kitchens, bathrooms, and school districts sell houses. You think it's the men who are segregating these neighborhoods for the last 50, 70 years? No, it's the women. It's the wives. Ooh. It's the wives. And until we can name that, we're not moving anywhere on these issues. So if you care about school segregation, neighborhood segregation, about getting black housing values up to where they should be, it's going to be because we actually name white women as the perpetrators. Not like the innocent people who are suborned and go along with, but the primary perpetrators of this kind of racism. And I suspect, and the violence, and I suspect also mass incarceration comes when you look at just the way white women have pushed sex offenses, because people assume that the biggest growth in mass incarceration has been through drug arrests alone. But actually, since 1996, it's 60 times. It's sex offenses. Sex offenses. And that could be anything. That could be people fighting. That could be anything. Then you're on a registry.
And how they take her word for it.
And they take her word for it. So until we actually have the hard talk with white women, and I think this movie allows us to possibly do that, we're not going anywhere on these issues. Employment discrimination still might be white guys, but all those other things, school segregation, neighborhood segregation, that's white women driving that. And they've always been driving it. We just don't know how to talk about them as the major perpetrators. But now we might do it because it's Rose.
Rose was the son of a bitch. And let me just say, this goes all the way back to Ida B. Wells. Remember when she used to write? She used to write about, black men getting lynched, and other because of white women who said he raped me or whatever. So this goes all the way back, but even with that, we've never been able to see her as the perpetrator. And I think one of the good points of the movie was how we saw her as the perpetrator. When she said that, when she slipped out them keys, that was probably the best part of the movie. She was like, I can't give these to you, babe. She still called him babe. When she basically telling him, you are finished. And she had all these pictures of all these other men she did this to, all these other black men and one black woman. All these other black men she did this to, and she ain't care. She ain't care. So the message of the movie really resonated with me. It was the delivery. It just didn't scare me. I need you to scare me. So that was the thing for me.
It was a thriller. It wasn't a horror movie. Then.
Yeah, but it's still like a thriller. It's supposed to be I didn't see that coming. Oh shit. You know what I mean? I'm scared for you. I'm scared for the man. And I didn't let anybody tell me like how it was gonna end. So for all I know, I doubt they were gonna let you die. You the black man in the movie, but I want to feel like you close to death at some point. Like,
I gotta say one more reason why it's important that that Rose is in on it.
Go ahead.
All of those white teachers who treated you like garbage, that's Rose. Rose went to TFA and worked for a black school. Black people at home. She went to Teach for America and worked for a black school. But black people at home, all of those white teachers who little white women.
That was enough. He says, this is my uncle or whoever. He ran against, Jesse Owens or whatever. But Owens won, and didn't he stick it to Hitler or whatever? And the black guy says, well, it still kind of sucks for your uncle because he still lost, regardless of Hitler or whatever. He was like, yeah, he never really got over it, basically. And that kind of says a lot to me about winners and losers. That says a lot to me about how much they kind of hold on to stuff, and they still see like they're winners and they're losers. And this the thing that people don't talk about in this movie, we talked about the liberalism, we talked about the white women. What people don't talk about a lot in this movie, which is strange, is that the role that wealth played. Like if you watch this movie, not just the house, but in terms of what they were doing to people, in terms of how they were treating people, the technology to do what they were doing, that was all made possible because they had more wealth and they had more privilege than this black guy who had just walked into their house. And the truth is, I don't care if you kill that family, that house is gonna move on in that family. That house is gonna be inherited, it's gonna move on. And they still gonna have that power, that white family, to determine what they want to do with that power.
Right.
So it doesn't go anywhere. So this thing, this whole, at the end of the movie, it's like, they killed all the people. That's good. That's victorious. But that's just one incident.
That's one incident. So what does racism look like? Racism in America doesn't quite look like, we know that from this movie, we know that it doesn't quite look like the evil guy, right? There are at least two women there. He couldn't have done it without them. He couldn't have done it without the mother. He couldn't have done it without Rose.
Exactly.
He couldn't have been, that's how racism works. It can't be reproduced without women. So, we learned that. And also, racism isn't in the cop interaction. It's in the fact that you could have access to all of this science, all of this money, all of this,
He couldn't have, if they hadn't had access to all that stuff, they could not have done that.
Right.
To him.
And he didn't have access to it.
And he didn't have access to it.
So it was the inequality that actually worked for them. Because he couldn't call all of his people. He didn't have a squad. He had one dude.
Yeah, he had one dude
who had a day job.
And one dude, and that's something that else that kind of. At one point he tells Rose something that kind of bothers me. He says, because his mom got killed when he was young, and he says, well, you're all I got, and I'm not gonna leave without you. Black man, listen. If white people start acting funny, what you talking about? And then it's not true that he could. It's not true that he had his good friend who had been telling him the entire time, get the hell out of there. What are you doing? You up there, they're making black people sex slaves. And he was wrong about what was happening, but he was right about the thing. You did not have anybody. You just didn't have what you wanted. You did have friends, just like black people. We do have a community.
Right.
You just didn't. That doesn't mean anything. So for him to say, well, you're all I got, that saying you're all I got is what made you stay too late.
Right.
If you had said, I'm getting out of here, I'm leaving right now, it would have been a whole different thing. It would have been a whole different outcome. And you have to come tell her where I want you to go with me when your friend and your intuition is screaming, get out.
Yeah. And
the man said it. The man who was also there, who for a minute snapped back, was like, get out of here, get out. And you're like, I don't know what's wrong with him. I'm disturbed, but I ain't leaving. You had the opportunities to leave or do something differently or make a different choice were prevalent in this movie.
And that's the thing, and that we have to be very careful when we talk about our allies and make sure. This is why we need to be clear with our allies, or the people who think that they're our allies. We need to be clear what the score is, because in a pinch, who are they going to go with? You're gonna be devoted to them, but who are they devoted to in a pinch? White capital.
Yeah.
White capital. Just assume that. Assume that. Any negotiations you have with your white allies or white capital, just assume, unless it's explicitly said otherwise and clarified, and still, you never know, where are their allegiances? It's with white capital. I say this because like I think a lot of people in the next generation are going to get confused and they're going to expect white people to treat. A lot of black people are going to expect white people to treat them like they treat other white people, and it's not going to work out. And like, this is the warning.
Yep.
This is the warning.
Well, I think too. He should have choked her all the way out at the end. If y'all, I mean, I think this movie made a lot of money for Pio, and I think for a first movie out of the box, I think this was a good shot, right? I think he tried to do things. I have a problem. But see, the thing is, I don't like I like Django. You gotta still entertain me. You can't just give me a political. And even there are movies that have gotten Oscars like that. Like they have had a political message and they didn't really entertain me. So it's not just him. And this is his first time out the gate. I give him a lot of latitude, right? But what I'm saying is it's just like I wasn't necessarily entertained by it. But I like the fact that it was the beginning of maybe something where we can kind of paint white people in a different light. Right. In terms of cinema. So I don't think that's a bad thing. I want somebody to the next time just make me go, whoa. That's what I expect. And I think another part when I think about the movie, I don't think he understood, like, even before he figured out who she was, the black guy, even before he figured out who she was, like, even if her people were like that and they were that awful, and I don't think he understood, like, even if, like, I want to tell black people, you have a right to say no. Like, if you go to somebody's house and they all crazy and they touching you or something and talking about your hair or making you feel uncomfortable, you have a right to walk away. It's not your job just to be nice and be like, well, that's just, and I'm uncomfortable, but I'm going to just try to play it out. This is my girl. You have a right to be like, I'm uncomfortable. I don't want to be here no more. I don't want to be here no more. I don't think he realized, like, even if this hadn't happened, I don't think he realized with her people like they are, and these people around her like they are, this woman would have been a burden for you. That wouldn't have been somebody that you wanted in your life as a wife. She would have been a burden to you because these people around her are bad. They're treating you like an object. They're not being good to you, and that's not going to stop once you get married. So I think black people, have a problem with, especially because of how we've been treated. And in this case, this was a black guy. So especially in terms of how darker-skinned black men are treated in society, I think they kind of have a problem sometimes with being like, no, I don't want to be bothered with this. I don't want to be bothered with you. I'm going. I'm leaving. Bye. But so there's a part of him, well, I'm at this nice house. It's really good. These people are but it's okay. I think there has to come a point too with black people that you just say, no, it's not okay. I'm not, I'm gonna go back to my friend and we're gonna hang out. The friend who's a TSA agent, we're gonna hang out and I'm good. I don't necessarily need you in my life. And I don't think he realized, how that works. And there was another part of the film where he gave somebody part of the reason he knew that the guy wasn't right, the black guy, he went to give him a pound. And the black guy tried to shake his hand. And I thought that was a little bit problematic, right? Because isn't that how Obama fooled us? By kind of talking like black people and giving people a pound and giving people dab. Isn't that how he kind of fooled us and made us believe like, oh, I'm just like you. And then he wasn't.
No, he went for the long con. He got himself a black wife.
Yo! Yeah, something he really didn't do before Michelle. Something he didn't really do black women before Michelle. So, yeah, I mean, but that's how we get conned into stuff. So it was like he looked like, oh. I can understand the initial comment in terms of how the black guy was talking. You'll see when you see the movie. But I did it well. He's not black. I know he's not black because he didn't go for the pound. Well, a lot of people who go for the pound ain't black.
Well, okay, so say what do you mean by that?
Just like the pound, like,
Yeah, but what do you mean? When you say that Obama isn't black,
I mean, not black like you, like you're thinking like, so, he understands what you understand. He has grown up like you grew up. Like you got $500,000 in inheritance.
Exactly. Talk about that.
No.
So when you say black Americans, you can't think you're going to get $500,000 in inheritance from your banking vice president.
Well, you can't
grandma.
think that this person is just like you because they know how to shake your hand.
Right.
Like you have to know what what their life was about.
Right.
What did they receive? What were the advantages they had that you didn't have? Where did they go to school? We didn't talk about Obama going to school at Punahou because he gave dap, and when a black man come, he knew how to hug him, and he knew how to talk like Martin, and he had the cadence of Malcolm. He had mimicked all this stuff down. So we didn't understand. So it's kind of that scene really kind of signified like how we kind of interpret. Oh my God, he's not black. He didn't give me the pound.
He got $500,000 from his white grandma when she passed. That's not a black story.
And that's a while ago. What is that today?
Like that. I mean, some black people are going to get that money from their platform, but that's not like.
Well, he might have got it when she passed before he got elected, so it might not have been a while ago. So yeah, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. That's like white people money.
Let me know if you've seen $500,000 in your life. Put it up right now. Put it up. If you see like at some point, if $500,000 was deposited in your trust, in your investment account, yes, or in your bank, let me know. I'd like to know you. But no, I think there were a lot of interesting points. I mean, I think there were a lot. I didn't say that. Like, I think the intention of the movie was good. It didn't deliver for me, but I think the intention behind the movie and what they tried to do was good. I just didn't necessarily find it entertaining in terms of the genre it was in. But that's just me. I think everybody should go see it just so you can talk about it. I think. But I think everything in this movie we already understood. Yes. Let me just say this. This was a movie for white people.
Yes.
I'm just going to say it. Everything in this movie black people already understand. This is a movie to help white people understand. It's not a movie for us.
But they need it.
They need it.
Because we need a better class of white people in America.
They need it. Understand going in that this is not your
movie. They need to see Rose as the villain.
They need to understand going in, this movie's not for you. This movie is to educate white people.
Yes.
Because they don't need a lot to be
entertained.
That's still
a service.
I'm just playing. Yeah, but this movie is to let white people know about their own hypocrisy. I don't think it's really a movie that's supposed to entertain me. I don't think that's what they were going for. I already know who Rose is. I already know what Rose is up to.
Yeah.
I already know what her game plan is. So I think. I think it was I think when I look at it, and I look at the reviews that I've seen, it's obvious to me that this is a movie for white people. Like y'all don't know who y'all are. Yes. So this is a movie. So Peele made this movie for y'all because y'all don't understand yourselves. So I maybe it's not for me to be entertained because maybe like there are white people who are like, oh my God, I never thought about it this way. Oh my God, and he liked Obama. And he was a villain. Can you believe he was a liberal? I mean, so maybe that's how people are reacting. White people are reacting to it.
We need a better class of white people in America.
Yeah, that's true.
So, like, if this takes them there, then...
And I also have an axe to grind.
All right.
The white people only got killed in the last 10 minutes of the movie. I need a span out of killings. I don't need no just last 10-minute killings. I need a whole I need something, and it's something to lead up to it real good. This was the thing that Django got. Like Django did something so bad. Y'all remember that when they was trying to cut off the nuts or whatever. Like that, you just was like, oh, I just wanted to get him. Like I never had that moment with this movie with Get Out. So it just didn't entertain me, but I think it was for white people. I think white people entertained. I think they saw themselves, and if they saw themselves differently, if they saw themselves as like how they are with the hypocrisy of everything, then I think it did a job worth doing. I don't think you can be mad if it did that. It did a job that needed to be done. If that's the case, so I'm not upset if that's what happened. If that's how if white people get something out of this movie, because I think sometimes you have to understand that a thing is not for you. A thing is not for you. If white people got something out of this movie and begin to put together layers of how nefarious they are sometimes, because that white woman came out of there, Rose came out of there with a shotgun, and she didn't even crack a cry or a smile. She was just like, I'm finna go kill this black boy. I ain't got time. I was doing stuff. I was trying to find more victims, and he interrupted me trying to get away, and I'm finna go take care of this. So I think if this comes to a point where we can understand, or white people can better understand themselves, white women especially, because the women played a major role.
Yeah, this doesn't happen without women. And racism in America doesn't happen without women. Like, that's without white women. It doesn't. This isn't like a guy in a clan. There were WKKKs, like the KKK auxiliary. Like we were knitting the little hoods and all of that. Like we need to start thinking about women as perpetrators of racial harm.
Say that again, we need to start thinking about
white women as perpetrators, not like innocent victims kind of going along with their asshole husband or their jerk husband, but actual active perpetrators. That's why it's so important that we realize that Emmett Till's accuser lied about the whole thing, and whether like he whistled at her or not, that was never that's never what was important. But what's important is that she made the whole thing up. That's America. We live in a country where she made the whole thing up.
Yep, and felt comfortable enough to say whatever, But white women, we coming now.
Well, no, I mean, like, if we're serious about like integrating schools, integrating neighborhoods, and like getting rid of mass incarceration, we have to point the finger at white women.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's just point the finger at white women. Yeah. They're the problem. They're the problem that's undiagnosed.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're asking me, like, Yvette, well, should I see the movie? Yeah, I think you go see it. I think you go see it. I think, regardless of whether or not you're entertained, I think it's good. Education for white people. So I think this is something that you want to kind of be able to talk about. I think you want to be able to have a conversation about it. So I would never dissuade anybody to not go and see the movie. Because I think, like I said, I think it's good. I think it's good for the people that it's good for. If you all are watching on, let me just take a break. If you're watching on Facebook, I want you to share this. If you're watching on YouTube, like it. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Subscribe to the notifications too, so when you're up. If you are on YouTube Live, you can use Super Chat to donate now. You can go to Donate Brown.
Give us $2 for the
$2.
time. $2, $5.
I even say $2. If you can also go to Breaking Brown and subscribe to the newsletter. Subscribe per month. Go to subscribetobrown.com. Also, and subscribe. You can do all of that. But I want some of y'all to call in tonight. I'm gonna talk about one other thing really quick, and I want some of y'all to call in tonight and tell me what y'all thought. I'm really interested to see like what you all thought, or hear like what you all thought about the movie. So if you've seen Get Out, I would like to hear about it. I mean the white woman was so slick. This is how so slick she was though. At the beginning of the movie, when they got stopped by the cops, she was acting like she was doing something good for the black guy. Like, oh, I'm taking up for you. When really and truthfully, what she was doing was like making sure wasn't no paper trail. She's so slick. She was slick as a mug. She was, just all the nefarious stuff that was going on that like you might not have even picked up on. Just like she was so slick. And so I think about that, and I think about the white women who were teachers who. I don't know if I shared this story before. When I was in kindergarten, some kids beat me up.
Oh no!
They beat me up on the playground, and these two white teachers just act like wasn't nothing going on.
Oh, it's okay.
Like you gotta be a monster to see a 5-year-old get fucked up, and like act like ain't nothing happening. Like people act like these people and they stole my milk. They stole the black kids' milk. I mean, that only lasts till my mama came to the school, and my mama said, if my daughter don't have no milk, it's gonna be your ass. So, there are a few times my mama got in trouble at the school, but
doing the right thing.
Yeah, by taking up for a kid. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, I think back when I see Rose, I kind of think back to these white women, man.
We're not moving on any of these issues until we talk about white women and like how they are perpetrators, not just like. They go along with a real jerky guy. We have a language to talk about guys. We have a language to talk about the white supremacist, the Richard Spencer, or the Donald Trump. We don't have a language to talk about Ivanka or the 53% of white women who voted for him because it pays. White supremacy pays for women.
I don't think you can say that. I mean, there are pictures of the KKK. There are pictures of KKK rallies with white women wearing hoods. So anybody who says white women didn't contribute to what we're experiencing is an idiot, and you should call them an idiot. Like anybody who says that white women haven't contributed to white supremacy is an idiot. That's just that's just anybody who would turn the camera back on us would be like, what did you do? Yeah, like, but we're 13% of the population. Like, what are you talking about? And then even those of us who are conniving, sellouts in our community, I'm not saying that you should be that way. I call out sellouts all the time, but I understand that sellouts in the black community are under a lot more stress. Do you understand what I'm saying? To get stuff because you don't have anything. You have nothing. You're in a community where you have nothing, and these people and white people with money are saying, well, if you do this, we'll make your life okay. I'm not saying I would ever do that. I wouldn't. Life ain't that important for me to do that. But for these people, you can't compare nefarious black people to nefarious white people who are just like, we want free labor, we want this, we want that, and we think you're a monkey. The whole thing. So, I wanted to say a bit about, I think we kind of covered that. And I want to, like I said, I'm reiterating this, but I want to hear from y'all. I want to hear from y'all about what you think about the movie, about what you think about what happened, in terms of just kind of telling my stories and stuff like that, and I, because these were the white women in my school, and they better be happy that my mama came, because nobody really wanted to see my daddy come up there.
No, he would have been in jail. But he would have been in jail. He would have
been in jail. He would have been able to do it as a black man.
Yeah.
You can't come in there and talk to no white woman like that. You know what I mean? He'd have been locked up.
Yeah.
So, but if it hadn't been corrected, they would have saw him. If the situation hadn't been rectified, they would have saw him.
5-year-old Yvette got beat down and nobody cared.
Yeah, like you gotta care about your kids, but that's a whole nother story. That's a whole other thing. You gotta show up, like you gotta show up for your babies. But I wanna bring up another topic. This is a touchy topic. I'm only gonna bring it up for 5 minutes. Then I'm gonna go to the phones. I gotta honestly take a breath before I go to this topic, because so many of you make so many accusations towards me. It's so
you're sensitive, aren't you?
It's so hurtful, Iron. It's so hurtful. It's so painful.
Sensitive.
It's so painful to kind of things.
If you prick Yvette, does she not bleed?
I bleed. My heart be heavy. But a while ago, some of you will recall that I put up a image of Tracy Ellis Ross, who was born Tracy Silberstein. And I talked about her, and some of you misunderstood what I was saying. What I was saying in terms of Tracy Silberstein, I said that she has a Jewish father who was, wealthy, did some other stuff, and she had a mother who was a R&B icon.
So you're not lying. You're not lying.
I'm not lying. And so what I said wasn't about the fact that she's mixed, she's not black. She certainly is.
Yes.
But what I said was, it's problematic from someone who comes from that background to actually decide that all of a sudden, when they win an Emmy or whatever she won, that you're going to say something to the effect of, well, this is an example that black women can do it and blah, 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 blah. Well, no. Like, you come from, excuse me, you come from wealth. That's what you come from. And you're on this show, Blackish, which is a show about black strivers, telling black girls that you can do it too. And you can be just like me, without telling them all the advantages that you had that they don't have. And that's the aspect of it that was problematic for me. That's the aspect that I had a problem with. I don't have any problem with anybody, interracial, anything. I don't have any problem with that at all. That's the problem for me. Like, when I look at her, I think that she should probably, given her advantages, like, you should be competing against Jewish women for roles. Like, you shouldn't even see race as anything. You should, because that's what you come from. And what we don't understand is that a lot of people lean on that. They lean on, they don't lean on the American part of themselves, because that part of themselves that is Jewish is stronger because it's wealthier or whatever. So they lean on that, but then when they realize, I'm not gonna be Sarah Jessica Parker, it's not gonna work. Then they double back to compete with black women. Well, you shouldn't be competing with us. You had all of these advantages.
Now let's contrast that with someone else.
Put up the next photo so we can talk about it. But then go ahead on.
Yeah, well, contrast that with Jennifer Beals, who doesn't compete with black women for roles. I don't think she competes. Jennifer Beals she was in the L Word, she was in Flashdance. I think
she looked white. She looked like me with straight hair, though.
Yeah. She looks white, but she could, if she wanted to, she could compete.
Oh yeah.
But like she
is that
doesn't.
because she's white?
What's up?
But you saying but you know do we know the thing is interesting about her? She never erased her background.
No, I like that. I like her for a lot of reasons. First of all, she's beautiful.
Yeah, dude, I like her.
I'm not even gonna lie. Jennifer Beals is beautiful. Flashdance, all of that. She's beautiful. Second, she always has a black daddy on all of her shows. On all of her shows. She has a black daddy.
She makes herself interracial.
All of her shows.
She makes sure that they understand that she's not just white.
My daddy's black.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. On all of her shows. She doesn't have to. She could pass, but like anytime she has a daddy, her daddy's black.
But she chooses not to.
Right.
Yeah, that's important. To choose not to pass is important because she certainly could.
She could.
Without a doubt.
And she's not like competing for black roles. Like she wasn't in Girlfriends.
You're like I'm going. Girl,
I'm gonna eat them all. I'm gonna eat all the roles.
Yeah, but I'm gonna eat all the roles. But guess what they do? I come from this, but like I'm not gonna be on Girlfriend. I'm not gonna be Sarah Jessica Parker. So I'm gonna compete with black people. And then when I win something, I'm gonna act like my daddy ain't Jewish and my mama ain't Diana Ross. But act like my daddy ain't Jewish, especially.
I'm gonna put up a quick picture of Jennifer Beals so people remember what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So this is the woman who does it right. Every time, this is Jennifer Beals. Every time she's in a role, every time she's in something, her daddy's black. Everything. Like, all of her shows. I don't know if it was on Flashdance, but everything I've seen her in, her dad's always black. I like that. And she competes for roles with white people. She's not just eating all the black people roles.
Yeah, eating all the black. That's what they do, though. They just eat them up. Gobble, 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 gobble. Wait, when you come from a Jewish, go compete with these white people for roles. Why you just like, well, I can't compete. It's almost like a heavyweight boxer. Like, put up. And we just talking about Tracy Ellis Ross. We got another one for you. You.
This is bad because she's kind of a kid, but like, okay.
She's kind of, but still. She's
getting paid. She's a kid who gets paid. So
kid who gets paid ain't a kid.
You don't want no person who gets paid should tell you how to be black.
No, you're a kid. You're not a kid no more once you get paid. But she's also in Blackish. This girl is also in Blackish, and the only reason she came to my attention was because she said something about the Muslim ban. And I'm like, who is this? And somebody sent me the article. I love you people who send me these articles. They are delicious. But somebody sent me the article, and she actually has like an Iranian father. So it's almost, the thing that I say is just like, she's in Blackish too. So Blackish is Blackish. The thing that these people do is that they may lean on one side of them because that side of them is stronger. Right? It may have more money. It may have connections. It may have whatever. And then when it's time to compete, it's almost like having a heavyweight fighter who realizes, like a heavyweight fighter in the 1990s, who realized I can't fight Mike Tyson. But you're really good. So you just kind of shrink down to a different size and you decide, well, I'm just going to fight these little lightweight people. Or it's like having somebody who's been professionally trained as a football player. And they decide they can't make the NFL, so they come back to high school to compete against you. No, you need to be over there. You need to be competing with them. We're descendants of slaves, all of us. So I mean, you can't. So it's you have to look at this. And let me tell you what else it does. It masks something that's very important. When you see these people, when you see Tracy Ellis Ross, and this young lady right here, you think that things are possible. Like black people are still making strides, and we can make it. We can do it. When the truth of the matter is, especially for Tracy Silverstein, like she had it. She was like you were born to
Diana Ross's daughter
and Silverstein's daughter too.
Yes,
you already had it made, but you get on there and you're like, I'm the first black and we can still do it. No,
where are the rest of the girlfriends? No. They're all working jobs.
I ain't seen them in no time soon. You seen them everywhere?
No, they didn't have it. They weren't born to icons. A lot of girlfriends.
A long time.
Yeah, a lot of girlfriends. Only one of them still working. I'm just saying, one of them has a black experience, and the other one might have the half Jewish experience. Is what I might be saying.
Yeah, so I think you have to like. Somebody's like, she's a minor. I know she's a minor, but like the thing is like.
But she was talking.
But I think you have to.
And she's making money.
I think let me just say this. Everybody needs to start understanding context. Like let's understand. Like it doesn't mean that you say they're a bad person or they can't do this. No. But you have to understand everything about a person. When a person comes into your life, it used to be a long time ago, when a person come into your life, even if they come in on screen, I need to know who your mama is, who your daddy is, where you come from, who your people. And we don't ask it anymore. We just assume, like we see everything through the lens of skin color, or we see everything through the lens of of hair texture. Like they got nappy hair or they dark skin. They like me. We don't see it through the lens of lineage. Okay? We don't see anything through there. We don't see it through the lens of class, struggle, character. I think that's Antonio's SCSC. That we don't see any of it through there. We don't see it through there. And I think we have to start, even in terms of just making a basic assessment. This doesn't mean that you're not going to like the person. This doesn't mean that the person can't necessarily act, but to understand who they are and what they represent and whether or not they should be in this role or that role, you have to understand those basic
So
things.
you mean I shouldn't trust, but here's a beautiful black woman, right? You mean I can't just trust her with everything she does?
Oh, I know.
Well, what? Well, like here, I'm about to give you a beautiful. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with her? You're telling me I can't trust her with everything? What could ever be wrong with Kamala Harris?
You didn't do the big reveal, did you?
Yeah, I did. They know. They saw. Yeah, they know. It's Kamala. Like, what could ever be wrong with Kamala?
But Kamala's a AKA.
Yeah, squeeze.
And she went to my alma mater, Howard University, so she must be down for the people.
Right, except she was a prosecutor for her life, right?
You mean she was putting black people in jail?
That, like in Northern California, which means that she was
and
only.
And that's what they do. They get all these black women as prosecutors so that nobody's upset when they come on TV and say that, oh, we send all these people, all these Negroes to jail. They put black women as prosecutors, so it's just like nobody, oh, well, at least it's a black woman doing it. That girl's doing the best she can. I'm sure that sister tried. She done, how many black people did Kamala help run out of San Francisco when they were rich with her? Ain't no black people in San Francisco no more.
Well, they're in jail. It's San Francisco.
You said they're in jail?
6% of the population, 56% of the jail. That's your Kamala Harris right there.
Say that again. Say that again.
6%. You can look this up on Google. Just put it in San Francisco jail. 56%. 6% of the population, 56% of the jail. 56% of the jail, which means that your liberal San Francisco is done with black people. Like, they're done with black people. They have no use for you in San Francisco. Liberals, but they're good with the gays. But like, they have
gays because they got money.
I know, and good teeth. No use for black people in San Francisco. And that's what we have to deal with. These are liberals, and this is where Kamala Harris was a prosecutor in Alameda County. So like, look, LCS, like Antonio's right. Antonio Moore is, what is it, LCSC? She's right. I mean, it's right. Yeah. It's right. There are a lot of black
lineage, class, struggle, character.
Lineage, class, struggle, character. There are a lot of black people who don't really care about poor black people. They only care about like Kamala Harris, and that's just not what I'm about, and that's not what it's not what we're about here at Breaking Brown. And any policy that comes out of these people isn't going to be good for your cousin. Because Kamala did fine putting black people. She did very well for herself.
That's right, Bernard. Bernard says context is king. That's right. That's exactly right. That's what
Kamala did very well for herself putting black people in jail. Did very well for herself. Made quite a career.
Yeah. Now she's in the United States Senate. You ready to go to the call?
Let's go to the call.
Let's go to the calls. What y'all got to say? Did y'all see the movie? Did you see the movie?
I didn't even put the numbers up, but we're full up, so...
Oh, see, that... Oh, excuse me.
Hi, guys. How are you doing?
I don't have a green light.
Oh, turn it off. Are you out of...
No, I'm good.
Okay. You're on?
Yep.
Hi, how are you guys?
Good, how are you?
Yvette?
Yes.
I'm splendid. I haven't talked to you guys in a while. I've been out of the country.
Oh, look, traveling Negro.
Look at you.
She got a passport, see?
I've been out of the country, and I know that the credit card thing, they switched my credit card to a chip card, so I'm going to go back in, and now that I'm back in the U.S., I'm going to go back in so that I can start that payment all over again for you, Yvette.
Thank you. You were kind.
The monthly payment.
I appreciate it.
I just know they switched my credit card. They sent me one with the chip while I was out of the country, so they switched everything up. But anyway, I didn't see the movie, but I kind of have an idea of what the movie is about. And when you guys were talking about white women, you know, you say something all the time about, more black people than black people. Well, I know more white people than white people because that's what I've been around my entire life, and especially white women. They are some of the most vicious people. on the planet.
We just have
They're even worse than the white men.
It wouldn't work without white women.
And I don't.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, and so I don't know how they've been able for so long to get away with this behavior. You know, I go into a lot of white homes and I assess their children. It is so messy. I mean, the stories I can tell you guys that never get played out. What's happening in these homes? I'm talking about elite white people homes, doctor, lawyers. I'm talking about all the way up at the top of the chain. You wouldn't believe some of the things that's happening in these homes, all perpetrated by the white women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have. Yeah. It's important because we don't.
And
We don't have a language. We don't really have a language to talk about white women as perpetrators of racial violence. We don't have a language, and that's the language we need. We need, because until we actually talk about women, and they get something out of white supremacy. They're number 2 out of 30.
Yeah.
They're not number 1, but they're number 2.
But number 2 ain't bad.
Number 2 ain't bad.
And they, you know, it's in this whole, you know, I tell people all the time, the monster isn't down the street. 9 times out of 10, it's the bed next to you. It's like that over and over and over again. And I go into these homes and I see these children. It's so much chaos with the women and the spouses. So I'm not surprised about, like you all gave the end, you know, talked about the movie Get Out, which I don't want to see it anyway. The white woman being complicit in all the bad activities. Yeah, I mean, that's just what they do. That's who they are. They can't help themselves. You know, anytime you go out and watch someone being hanged, mutilated and all this kind of stuff, the way they did, you know, the open show on Sundays and they best dressed and they used to go out and watch the slaves being hung and all this kind of stuff. Something's wrong with you. And they pass that down from generation to generation. Something is wrong with them.
That's that. Yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, caller. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And
welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's important that we don't have a language. We need to just talk about white women the same way we talk about white guys. That's all we want. See, we're feminists like that. See,
feminism is both sides of the coin. You can't be like, I like the good things that feminism gets me, but I don't want to be cast as the villain.
No, they're especially when like all of the historical record, like we have pictures of white women in numbers at the lynchings. Like they were there. Like I said, once again, check out, if you're interested in anything of what I'm saying, check out Tommy Curry's work. Professor Tommy Curry, he's a professor at Texas A&M. He's a philosophy professor. We're colleagues. And he's got a few great interviews on YouTube. Just put his name in. But he's a great guy. The historical record is clear. What we don't have is a political language to talk about white women as perpetrators of violence. But like the historical record is clear. They were raping. Like it's awful. It's just as bad. And so unless we talk about women as just as bad as their male counterparts, we're not going to move on these racial issues.
No, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. Let's go to the next call.
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, Yvette.
Yes.
Oh my God, I hate this. Like I always hear people call in, hello. I'm assuming you hear me.
Yes.
Hey, how you guys doing tonight?
Pretty good. How about you?
Girl, I'm doing fantastic.
What's on your mind?
I'm hearing all feedback.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Yvette, well, check this out. I got the iPhone, and I'm trying to donate, but I don't know. I keep seeing people say it's the super chat button. I don't know. Where exactly is this button I'm supposed to press to donate?
Where's the button, Iremy?
I don't know.
Ireme's supposed to know. He just know. Iremy just know that it exists. He don't know where it is.
Go to Breaking Ground.
You can go to breakingground.com. I already don't know, but it's a super chat button. I know we got a few donations last from the super chat button, but I can't, like, when I'm on, like, I can't go in as myself to see.
I see it. Okay.
Oh, Iremy found it.
I found it. It's just tell
You
it's
see it.
just,
Okay, where is it?
it's just below the chat window. Tell her it's just below the chat window.
She said it's just below the chat. He said it's just below the chat window.
It's a $.
It's a $sign.
Hey, I still don't see it, but I'm gonna work this out because I believe in what you all doing, and I support everything you all doing. 3 things that I had to point out about this movie. I adored it. And though, this is a good movie for whites to actually see the other side that they claim that they don't see because they so deep in their sunken place in it. But 3 things I took away from it. We have the black shell. Like you have these black people that consciously they think they have a white mind, and we saw that with the whole being in the sunken place. And I don't know how far I should go within the movie. They touched on eugenics. Yeah. They also touched on the organ harvesting. But you can see that guy at the end, he wanted the brother's eyes. And this is something they've been doing for a while. I don't know if you all know about, what's his name, Kendrick Johnson, the young male that was found in the mat.
Yeah,
in the gym. I think it was 2013.
Found dead in the mat. Yeah.
Well, yeah. And it was a story that came after that completely he was robbed. He was robbed, and brothers been talking about like, hey, these shootings that have been going on in Chicago is far more sinister than what we think. Everybody wants to say is this gun violence or whatever, but I look at it like this. We can look at these liberals as our friends, but some of them really think, hey, they're quite brilliant, evilly brilliant, is what I got from it. And they figure we purchase these Negroes and we're going to get our money out of them, whether they're going to, we're going to put them back in slavery, through the industrial prison complex, or people strip them down part by part and sell them. So I picked up on that too. I hate that they put it as a horror film. They totally sold the movie wrong to me, but I enjoyed the film. I don't want to know, did you see those little subtle little Easter eggs throughout? Did you pick up any of that?
I hadn't. I mean, there are some things I kind of picked up on, like when she was driving, the way that she, and I kind of picked up on, it's funny, like, I don't know, like when the deer got hit, it was just like she didn't care. Like she wasn't even like, like, go ahead, Rose, go ahead though.
No, she didn't care because she had an agenda, and that's the thing that some of us we don't believe because they come around with smiling faces, and some of us just I don't know, we believe everything that it sounds good, it seems nice, so why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't they have any agenda? And I picked up on that, and I let my son watch it as well. We deal with this. My son is actually gifted. And he was skipped ahead 2 years in Army OMG. When you said that white female teachers are wrong, absolutely throughout this whole time we've had this push, like with his grades and tests. And I had this one woman actually try to convince me because he's so smart, he's so far advanced, that maybe I should go and get him tested at it because he's not think how stupid she thought I was, because he's so advanced that he could be possibly, this could be the beginning of some kind of mental break or mental episode. Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh, because he's mentally advanced, he's mentally dysfunctional, or he's mentally backward of some sort of way. Oh, that's interesting. I never heard that.
He has to be insane. Why is this black child who's so conscious to stand on his own, who completely absorbs this and just breaking every test that you set forth? Something has to be wrong with him. I think if I was in my sunken place, if I was just backwards and crazy, I would have just ate that up. This mental game that they play, this trigonometry game that they play on us. Yeah. So, yeah. So I've dealt this the entire time, but it's a constant fight. This is a mental war that we have fighting. Some of our people, it's like they don't get it, and you can love them. There's some of them like, oh my God, will you please just Wake up. And I know it's so cliche to keep saying wake up. And it's far more than just you. Oh, I see that. I acknowledge what's going on. No, you got to pick up on this stuff daily, like the little middle seeds that they place in. Like, yeah. But like I said, I love your show. I adore you. I appreciate time y'all put in. And I'm gonna figure this out, or I'll send out a check. You know,
you can go to breakingbrown.com if you can't figure that out. You can go to breakingbrown.com or go to donatebrown.com if you can't figure it out. Don't hurt yourself too bad. I know that'll get annoying.
Okay, you said donate brown.
Yeah, donatebrown.com. That's it. You good?
Donatebrown.com.
Yes, ma'am.
Boom. Okay, I can go ahead and take care of that. But hey, like I said, I thank you all. I appreciate the time you putting in there. I love my people, and I wish most of us get out of our fucking place. But hey, it is what it is. Just keep the push.
Thank you.
I'm behind you. I support you.
We appreciate that. I appreciate that. We love you back.
All right. Hey.
All right. Keep it moving?
Yep, keep it moving.
Keep it moving. All right. This looks not familiar. You're on. Hello?
Hey, Yvette.
Hey, how you doing?
Yvette?
Yes.
Doing great. Hi, Army.
Hey.
This is my first time calling.
Hey.
I'm a long-time listener and a contributor.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes.
And it's ironic that I call in on a subject I know nothing about. I hate movies and all that. But guess what? My kids convinced me to go watch this movie.
Oh, okay.
He's an expert.
Yep.
And then while watching this movie, it had to wake me up. Because I'm like you, it was a lot of stuff missing from the beginning of the movie. Mm. So I like, okay, this stuff is missing here. Where's the rest of this movie? So in my eyes, most of that movie is on the cutting room floor somewhere.
What do you think was missing?
Appeal would make a movie like that and leave so much out of it.
But what do you think was missing?
Even the intimacy parts, where they're intimate with each other, all you see is they're laying in bed. She's got her back turned to him, and he's got his back turned to her.
So I guess they could have.
But what else do you think was missing from the movie?
Oh man, it was just. Now, from my understanding, it was supposed to be a comedy horror thriller. So the only comedy I saw was the guy, the main character's friend. Now I said to watch him, he was kind of funny. To me, the main character, that should have been the casting for the main character. If somebody with a little bit more comedy background. This guy that did the part was pretty serious, and he just didn't bring the role out like it should have been brought out.
Yeah, maybe. You get a Black American in that actor. Who knows? All right, thanks, man.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Thank you, I appreciate your call.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just weird that.
All right, let's go here.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes. How you doing? How you doing?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, yeah. Hi, my name is Brian. I'm calling from South Florida, and there are 2 points that I want to make about this movie. As far as me liking the movie, I thought it was a good movie, and I do agree with you. It was a movie made for white people because I viewed it as a comedy and not a horror. That one part where the brother was talking to Kalua about his genetics and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I remember
that.
That
actually has happened to me for a couple of times when I was in college. Because when I was in college, I was lifting pretty heavy, and I went to a white school at the University of Florida. And during that time, our basketball team was actually making it to the finals. That was during Joakim Noah and all of them.
Okay.
So, and I remember walking around campus, and white people walk up to me and ask me for autographs left and right because they thought I was a basketball player. But anyways, the reason why, the main point I want to make about this movie is, I know that we've been talking about black economics and black money.
Uh-huh.
And so I do watch, I do follow movies, and I like reading about movies. And the one thing I want to point out is that this movie was made by Jordan Peele. He wrote it and directed it. The movie cost $5 million to make. So you have to double that for the advertisement. So the movie really cost about $10 million to make and advertise, right?
Uh-huh.
And so according to Box Office Mojo, this movie today has made about $111 million to date, right? So it's going to go down as one of the most profitable horror movies in history. So this is basically a knockout punch for Jordan Peele, right?
Yeah.
So my main thing is I like reading about directors. I like reading about, Hollywood and how it works. Normally when a director does something like this, they automatically get some crazy deal on the table for them to produce their next movie. Are you following me?
I'm following.
So this movie came out about 2.5 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I think. So according to everything I read, and I do read movie news, Jordan Peele hasn't signed like a big budget, movie deal yet. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And the thing is, I'm hoping that he doesn't make the same mistake that Ava DuVernay made when she made Selma. Because when Selma came out, Marvel offered her the option of directing Black Panther, and she turned it down for reasons that I don't understand. So what I'm trying to say is that Black economics, it also extends to these big movie directors who, in my opinion, Jordan Peele should have an awesome deal. He should have his pick of the litter right now, but he probably won't because he's a Black director.
That's true. He should.
He's probably not going to get an awesome deal like most of the other directors. He's not in a position where he can turn down movie offers like Ava DuVernay did. I don't know why she did it. But my point is, I'm curious to see what his next moves are and how this money moves with Black directors, and the success that he had with this movie. His movie is the most successful horror movie in history. But yeah, I wonder if he's going to get screwed on the movie deals moving forward with these studios.
Thank you.
Speaking about Black actors and Black directors,
the
last thing I want to say is a couple of weeks ago, Variety released an article talking about Black actors and how they were being underpaid. And Taraji P. Henson was making, according to the leak, she was making $140,000 per episode, and then other movies making more money. Anyway, bye.
No, thank you. I appreciate. Thank you. I appreciate. I mean, that is a interesting
money.
I mean, that is an interesting thing about, it's funny, like, Monique was in a movie that got an Oscar. And, like, I don't know what happened, and she was blackballed or whatever, but she don't get treated like somebody who, people like, oh, well, she was just mean. I'm sure she ain't the only person who's been mean or anything, even if that's true, who has won an Oscar. Divas are divas. But she doesn't seem to get, like, the last time I saw her was, like, what's that last movie that was about Black people spending Christmas together after their mama died? Like, it wasn't something that you expect somebody who, did she get an Oscar? Y'all tell me, did Monique get an Oscar? I can't remember.
I don't know.
You don't know. God, I really don't know. Can y'all tell me whether the woman got an Oscar or not?
I mean,
just think
philosophy
now Denzel's a whole different category. Denzel may as well be white. Like, he's been around so many great, acts and great artists and stuff. I'm just trying to think about, like, Viola's getting roles, Viola's getting stuff, but I'm just trying to kind of gauge it. But yeah, I think he's right. Like, Peele should get some nice deals because of, like, this was a huge amount of money for what they paid. This was a lot of money. Like, he won. You should get something from that.
He won.
Yeah.
He won. And I hope we have more movies that, like, take on, like, if the theme was, white women are bad
and it was
too.
kind of, and you gotta say it was kind of risky, right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't know if that's gonna resonate with white people. Sometimes white people don't want to hear about themselves.
No.
So you don't even know whether or not that's gonna resonate, and it did. And so you took a risk, and and you won. So that's supposed to mean something.
No, and it's good that, like, it came after the Trump election, and, like, we see that 53% went for Trump. Like, this is good for Peele.
Yeah. So let's keep it moving.
All right, keep it moving. You on?
Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, Yvette.
Yes.
Hi, Yvette. Hi, Ermy.
Hey.
I'm going to be calm this time. I called a couple of weeks ago. I think I was too hyped up, so I'm going to try to be calm this time. I want to ask a question.
Uh-oh.
Because I'm like 56.
Okay.
And I think these movies, I just watched the movie last night with my husband. I think these movies, that movie is a little too late. Because, I mean, it's like that movie is trying to imitate what we see every day. This interracial relationship thing is starting to be like a problem for people, but it's been going on for a long time. And I remember when I was young, and black guys were not even allowed to walk down my block with a white woman. They had to hide to have those kind of relationships. But back then, we tried to talk about it back then, just like black women try to talk about it now. When you bring up the fact of how wicked these white women are, the first thing black men say is that we're jealous, we hate them. They'll start pointing at our hair, telling us we want to be like them, we want to talk like them, we want to act like them. You cannot point out the wickedness of these white women in certain places, even around black women that aspire to be like them. Yeah. I like this movie because it shows how they really are.
Good.
That's for black women that try to be like them, and black men that put us on a defense when we try to let them know how these women are. These women have been like this forever. They inherit, when you go back to when our ancestors were enslaved in this country, there was mainly white women that were inheriting those houses, those mansions, those lands, and those white men had to cater to them. And, I mean, they had to pass a law back in the 1800s to stop white women from beating black children because they were beating them to death. But when you try to speak about the way that white women are around black men and black women that aspire to be like them, they will cuss you out. They will tell you you're jealous of them and that you're hating on them. I have a son that married one. And this girl her family is well connected in the legal system down here. She held that over my son for years. He wanted to get out of that marriage. I mean, threatening him that she'll tell her mother that he beats her and all kinds of lies. Her family is like the cops, the sheriff, they're everybody down here. And my son ended up staying in that marriage for years. He finally got heart to say, you know what, I'm out of this. You can do whatever you want. But we tried to tell him in the beginning how this woman was. If you get around a group of black men right now and start talking about how white women are, you'll darn near have to fight them. Because they think we're jealous of them and we want to be like them. And the only reason we're trying to warn them about these women is because we're hating on them. Okay. So I'm not going to hold you. And I tried to talk time this time because I was hyped up the first time.
That's all right. Thank you for your call. I appreciate that. Yeah.
All right. Y'all have a good night.
You too. I think this show is all about telling
Yvette.
Yeah.
Yvette.
Yes?
Look, I tried to donate. And I went on the homepage. And it keeps telling me I have to have a PayPal account.
It's a credit card.
You can do it with any card. You can do it. You should. The PayPal account there accepts other cards as well. It's somewhere else on the screen. But if you keep having problems, just send me a message at editor@breakingbrown.com and I'll find a way to kind of walk you through it. No problem.
All right, because me and my husband are trying to donate for like a month now, and every time we go in, it says PayPal. And we thought we had to get a PayPal account.
No. There's a way for you to donate with any kind of card that has a Master Visa logo. But if you have a problem, email me at editor@breakingbrown.com and I'll get you straight. Just put PayPal problem in the subject line so I know who you are, so I remember what I'm supposed to be doing.
Okay, I'm going to give it a try again tonight.
Okay, appreciate you. Thank you.
I think give a PSA. Hello, people. If you don't know, you do not need a PayPal account. Give a PSA to the people.
No, I just told her you don't need a PayPal account. It should allow you to donate with a credit card with a Visa Master logo. So, but if you do have a problem, just email me @breakingbrown.com and put what your problem is in the subject line, and I'll work it out. Keep it moving.
Ooh, yeah, let's do it. You're on. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, there must be a little bit. I'm doing pretty good, Yvette. There must be a little bit of a delay. I'm calling from Chicago.
Okay.
And I just want to let you know I appreciate everything that you do.
Thank you.
I did go to your page and make a donation.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. Let me be as brief as I can. What you do is teaching, encouraging, cajoling, forcing us to think critically, to think beyond the layers, to peel the onion. And I just want to thank you for that, because a lot of our folks are resistant to mental nourishment. And I know that in order for us to knock on any kind of door relative to self-determination, we're going to have to come to grips with a whole lot of things, particularly our own conditioning and behavior relative to Europeans, all right? If we will understand that there is mental illness going on in the black community on all levels, that's the start with. That's the start, I believe. What I do know is it doesn't require all 47 million of us in the U.S. to get this done energetically, all right? About 10% of us, all right? And so I just want to thank you for what you do and keep doing it and keep being blacktastic, all right?
Blacktastic. Thank you. I appreciate that. Blacktastic. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Who we got next?
Oh yeah, we got 4 of those, so I'll take it here.
Hey, caller, how you doing?
Hey, Yvette. How you doing?
Hey.
Pretty good. How about you?
Good. Me and my fiance were big fans of yours, your show, and supporters.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we did actually see We Saw Get Out. I thought it was, we both enjoyed it.
Okay.
One of the things that actually made me think about was I don't know how to describe it, but crisis that is being hugely ignored by the media is the missing black females in these metropolitan areas like D.C., Baltimore, New York.
Yeah,
that's one of the things that it actually made.
The missing black women in these communities, the black women who go missing, and nobody's ever. That was actually a special about a bunch of black women who have gone missing, and so it kind of made you think of. I can see how you would make that connection.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, caller. I appreciate it.
Thank you. So yes. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that call.
So I didn't get time to read the article. I was on the run, but apparently there was something in the New York Times. Do you know anything about that? The missing black women?
No, I've seen like stories before. Like I saw a story. It was a TV show, though it wasn't any kind of news, but it was like a documentary or something, like just missing black women.
We might need to do a show on that going forward. Yeah.
Just missing black women. Just like what happened?
Yeah. All right. Keep it moving. You're on. Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
How you doing?
Hi. No, I'm doing all right. How y'all doing?
We're doing good.
Okay, my comment was about the movie Get Out. And I was thinking about that scene where the maid, Georgina, is in his room and he tells her he's uncomfortable around white people and how she has sort of that break, And she starts tearing up. Yeah, she starts tearing up and she keeps going, no. And I realized that she wasn't upset because it was the black part coming out of her. She was upset as that older white woman, spoiler alert, at the thought that what they were doing was actually racist. That in the movie that they showed the victims, they're like, oh, you're going to go along with this and we're enlightened and we're elevated and we're taking you along with us. But when he, that scene where he was like, kind of a couple on white people, and she's knowing all the while what they got in store for him. So I just wanted to get back to that movie and that scene. I just realized what I was looking at because I'm rewatching it. But yeah, it was crazy. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah.
I love you guys. I donated. I watch you every Monday and Wednesday. Let's see how terrible I am.
I see. I appreciate you.
All right, guys.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I think there are a lot of points in that movie where you realize like she ain't got no feeling. like there's a point where she's running out the house, like the house is on fire, and she's running out the house, but she ain't looking for her daddy. She ain't looking for her brother. She got the gun, and she's like, I'm gonna kill this Negro. He done interrupted me. And like she ain't got no like there's like one of the things that you like, so she's faking empathy throughout the whole film, but you don't really see like normally white women portrayed in that way. So yeah, I think that's true, Carl. I think once you understand the end, you go back and rewatch, and there's a lot of little things that probably resonate differently. Yeah, I agree.
All right. Let's
Hello?
Hello.
How you doing?
Hello?
Hello.
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. How you doing?
Oh, I am great. I'm so glad to finally be get through to you, Yvette, because I really love your show and what you're doing.
Thank you.
And I do have a comment about the movie Get Out.
Okay.
Me and my husband went to see it about 2 weeks ago, and I just wanted to say that the movie, the way it portrayed the white woman reminded me a lot of the wife in 12 Years a Slave, the one that hit Patsy in the head with the bottle.
Wow.
Do you remember that scene?
Yeah, I can
treated
I can see that.
Slave owner's wife.
I can see that.
Yeah, and I saw a lot of connections between her and that character, but I also saw that a trend in the media where we're going to see a lot of movies portraying or trying to socially engineer fear among like interracial dating, because I watch a lot of these white male progressive and liberals on YouTube, and some of them, like I would say like the neocon types like Alex Jones, or some of them, they seem to like portray a fear of an extinction of the white race. And that's mostly what they talk about when they talk about how low the birth rates are in European countries, and how the Muslims are raping women over there. And it seems to be a great fear among white women, among white men. So I tend to think that this form of media and this type of film is more towards social engineering to try to get, to stop the interracial dating, or to put a fear among black people from actually dating white women or marrying white women or procreating with white women.
But isn't Peel's wife white? The guy who did the movie, his wife is white, right?
I've noticed some movies, like there was another recent movie called Loving. I don't think this one did actually that well I don't think it came out in the movie theaters, but I saw it on, streamed it. And it was just showing like how difficult it is to have an interracial relationship in America. Now, have you ever seen this movie with Jennifer Stiles in it?
I don't think so.
And it was it had that the girl from what's the white girl name from the dancing movie?
She said the dancing movie. She said the dancing movie. I don't know.
Okay, I can't think of the name of the movie, but the premises was she married this white guy. She married this black guy. She's white. She married this black guy. They live in New York. He's an artist, and he was a photographer, just like the guy in Get Out. He was an artist, a photographer, and he wasn't making enough money, and they were struggling, and they were really, really poor. So it just seems like there's. And her friends were rich, and I guess they were trying to like help her, but they were like rich liberals, and I guess the movie never brought up race, but it had such like an undertone
of like, okay, here's this beautiful white woman, and she's stuck in this crappy apartment with this poor, black, struggling black man. So I wish I will text you the name of the movie when I think of it.
Okay.
But it was like a really low budget independent film, and I just think that I'm starting to see a trend in media that's kind of socially engineering black men from wanting to have relations with white women.
Thank you, caller. I appreciate that. The problem with that for me is just like the director of the writer director is married to a white woman, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he is, and his mom is white.
And the movie is about the movie is about stealing black bodies. Like, you know what I mean? It's not even about
his mom is white too. So
he's mixed and he is married to a white woman. So the movie is about like stealing black people's bodies.
Right, he went there. He goes all the way there, which honestly, I don't think. And this is when, like, we need to be honest about, like, integration stuff. Maybe a person whose mom isn't white and isn't married to a black woman doesn't make as good of a movie. Maybe he, like, doesn't have roles.
Because you don't have... Because you... And maybe that's why I didn't feel it as much. I knew what he was trying to do, but it was almost like he didn't have access to the mean whiteness. If you understand. It was almost as if, like, in his life, he had some pretty good, decent white people. Like, he had, like, a good mama.
No, but there's, like, in black movies made by black people, white women aren't Rose.
Yeah, they aren't. They aren't Rose.
So, like, he went there in a way that I don't think a black director without a black mom or a black wife would have.
Without a black mom or a white woman?
Yeah, I don't think, like, John Singleton makes Rose the way...
You mean without a white mom, then?
Without a white mom, yeah, okay. Without a white mom. Yeah, like, I think it's important. And I actually think...
But do you think he saw something in the white people around him?
Yeah, of course he did. If he's paying attention.
Oh.
No, I think that's fine. I think he's doing... I think, like I said, I think the movie's, like you suggested, the movie's more important for white people than it is for black people.
Yeah, that's why it didn't resonate with me.
Right, it's more important. White people need to see the movie much more than black people do. Black people know the truth. White liberals think they're still good people.
Yeah.
When, like I think...
I think Django was more for me.
Yeah, Django.
Like, it was meant just like revenge, you know. But like this was like, see yourself, white people. Here's a mirror of white women. Put a mirror in front of yourself. You stealing black bodies to make yourself, and that's what America is, isn't it? Just the stealing of black people, the stealing of black bodies to build wealth, to build the richest country in the world, to make stuff for white people. This is like an embodiment. So in terms of like what it represents, I like the movie. It's just like with all movies, my first question is, are you not entertained? And I was not entertained. But I understand who it was for, so I give him credit for that. I was just entertained. I'm not saying nobody don't go see it. I think everybody should go see it and check it out.
Yeah. We'll keep going.
Let's say one last call.
Here, 440.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, how you doing?
Hi, Yvette.
Hey, how you doing?
Michelle. I'm doing great. I'm so happy that I finally got into your show. I've been watching your show for a very long time now, and thank you so much for taking my call. I just wanted to say one thing about white women. I went to school with white girls. I went to a private all-girl school. It was mostly white women. I went to an all-women dorm my freshman year of college, all white women. I had a white girl roommate. I feel like I could probably write many values about white women, yet there is a denial from everyone, from what other black people, from white people. The only people who I've met who are actually honest, and it's only sometimes and in secret, about how evil and wicked white women can be, are actually white men.
Wow.
And even that's only on occasion, but I just feel like when I would talk to my parents about how awful the girls were at school, they almost didn't believe me that these pretty little white girls could possibly be
so evil,
so wicked and evil.
Wicked.
It's like they couldn't believe, and these are black. Wicked. My parents are black baby boomers who, when they went, we're from the North, we're from Cleveland, but when they would go down south, they would experience Jim Crow. And it's just amazing to me that black people can be so, that there's just such denial about this. And it's like, why is it taking until 2017 for this to finally start? I don't want to ramble.
No, it's great.
No, I
great.
appreciate it.
Yeah, like it's very, like it's a very important lesson. It's a very important lesson that white supremacy wouldn't work. White supremacy wouldn't work without women. Like someone's raising those kids. Someone like they're as active in keeping the system going, keeping black people down as anybody else. So we just have to deal with them like that, like as active. And we it's not that big of a deal. We just need to be like, we just need to treat them as if they are part of the problem too. And like, you know, if we're gonna fix this problem, we have to deal with white men and white women and like get them all on board for like giving black people what they're owed.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Appreciate it, Colin.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you. I appreciate you calling in. Thank you. I mean, everybody, I'm going to check out the comments a little bit later. So everybody chime in at the comment section. Let me know what you thought of the movie Get Out. Like I said, I you know, it wasn't necessarily, you know, it was a shocker for me, but I don't think it was intended for me. I think it was intended for white people. And to the extent that it got white people to think, and sort of, you know, and drive them to the theater, you know, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Again, if you did not receive your newsletter and you subscribed, email me at editor@breakingbrown.com and put in the subject line "did not get newsletter" so I can figure that out for you. If it should have, and you should have received it on Sunday. So check your spam box if you did not receive it on Sunday. And if you know, and make sure that we're not going into your spam inbox. I also, you know, if you want to go subscribe, it's at breakingbrown.com. You can subscribe on the page once you hit breakingbrown.com, and then you can go onto the other page and donate too. We have a forum coming because, like, I send you news articles and I send you videos and things like that in the newsletter that I think, you know, are beneficial to the political education of African American people. But if you know, one of the things that we can't do really, because YouTube isn't a great place to have a discussion. So what we're doing is building a forum on breakingbrown.com that we'll use to kind of like, you know, discuss the findings, and I'll be in the comments, and then we're also going to use that, you know, to try to kind of, if people have problems in different areas, try to organize and try to give ideas and do things like that, because, you know, we want this to be more than just a conversation. Political education is great, but we want to kind of take it a step further to kind of like have a place where we brainstorm and kind of think through problems that we're having and deal with those. So all of that is coming. So, you know, the newsletter's already here. Subscribe, do that, and I just, you know, you can go to breakingbrown.com, and you can go to donatebrown.com, go to subscribetobrown.com. All of this stuff you can use to, you know, become a part of the network, and we can do our thing or whatever. But I'm just curious to see exactly what you all are going to say in terms of Get Out. I'm just curious to kind of figure out, you know, what your take is. I mean, has everybody seen it or has everybody not seen it? So anyway, thank everybody thank all you for joining me tonight. I will be back on no later than Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you didn't get through in the calls today, you know, we'll hopefully have a conversation then. I appreciate it. All right.